Each of these people were made from two other people, their parents. They were reproduced just as you were. For without human reproduction, you wouldn't be here. So you see, reproduction is important. That's why you have a special system for it, a reproductive system. I am your reproductive system. Whether you're a boy or a girl, you have a reproductive system. You might call me your people-making factory. Every baby comes from a single cell. I know it's hard to believe, but it's true. It really did. And 1/2 of that first cell came from a mother's reproductive system, and 1/2 came from a father's reproductive system. Actually, the 1/2 cell that the mother's reproductive system made is called an egg, or ovum. And the 1/2 cell that the father's reproductive system made is called a sperm. But your reproductive system can't make eggs or sperm until you're about 9 to 14 years old. Then the pituitary gland signals your reproductive system to start maturing. This age period is called puberty. Puberty begins in girls before boys. Then the pituitary gland makes special hormones called gonadotrophins, which start the female ovum-producing glands, the ovaries, to grow and mature. The ovaries grow and produce female sex hormones which cause the girl's body to look more like her mother's. Hips widen, breasts get bigger, and hair grows under the arms and between the legs where they join the body. At the same time, the ovaries develop eggs. Later, the ovaries will mature so that one egg or ovum will be made every month. While the ovum is growing, the female sex hormones cause the uterus to prepare for the growing ovum. The uterus, which is a little muscular sac, develops a rich lining of blood vessels and cells. When this lining is thick enough and the ovum is mature enough, the ovum travels down the fallopian tube toward the uterus. On its way, the ovum tries to find sperms. If the ovum meets a sperm from a male, they join to form one cell, which can develop into a baby. And this is called fertilization. The future baby will grow in the uterus until it's born. It can get food and oxygen from its mother's blood. If the ovum doesn't meet a sperm, a new baby will not form. The ovum and the lining, rich in blood and cells, are not needed. They separate from the uterus and are released about once a month as unclotted blood from the uterus through the vagina to the outside of the body. This bleeding is known as menstruation. Now let's take a look at the male reproductive system. I'm not as complicated in the male, but I'm just as important. Puberty begins later in boys than in girls. Then the pituitary gland makes gonadotrophin hormones which signal the sperm-producing glands, the testes, to start to mature. The testes then produce the male sex hormones, which cause the boy's body to become more like his father's. A beard grows, the voice gets deeper, muscles get bigger, and hair grows under the arms and between the legs, where they join the body. At the same time, the sac, which holds the testes, called the scrotum, gets bigger. So do the penis and the testes. And then the testes start producing sperms, a few at first, and then by the end of puberty, millions of them. But the sperms don't stay in the testes where they're made. They pass out to a collecting area, right on top of each testy, called the epididymis. Then the sperms travel up sperm tubes, out of the scrotum sac. At the end of the sperm tubes are two small energy supply areas called seminal vesicles. They supply a sugary liquid to the sperms. Then the sperms enter two short ejaculatory ducts, and here they prepare for their swim through the rest of the reproductive system. All they need is more liquid. Fluid from the prostate gland mixes with the sperms and the sugary liquid from the seminal vesicles. All these fluids are called semen. The semen has a whitish color. In order for the semen and sperms to leave the body, they must pass through the urethra, which also carries urine from the body. But the urethra can't carry urine and semen at the same time. Before semen passes through the urethra and out of the penis, the Cowper's glands produce a small amount of fluid which cleans the urethra. In order for the sperms to meet an ovum, the male must first put the penis inside the vagina of the female. The penis is usually soft, but when semen is ready to come out, it gets very hard. This makes it easier for the penis to enter the vagina. And once this occurs, the semen, with its sperms, can come out of the male urethra, and the sperms can swim in the female reproductive system looking for an ovum. As you can see, I am a very important system, whether I'm in a male or a female. I make sperms and I make eggs. I start to develop at puberty, when the pituitary in the brain sends out its special gonadotrophin hormones. Then my ovaries, or my testes, make their special sex hormones which make girls grow into women and boys grow into men. At the same time, my ovaries begin to make one ovum a month, or my testes begin to make millions of sperms. And if a sperm from a man should meet and join with an ovum from a woman, then a future baby will develop and grow in the mother's uterus until it's ready to be born. If an ovum does not join with a sperm, then the lining of the uterus, which grows each month, separates from the uterus and is released through the vagina as unclotted blood. This discharge is called menstruation. So, reproductive systems are important. They help you to grow to look like an adult man or woman. And of course, someday, because of me, you may have children of your own.